The Inn River forms the border between Germany and Austria here. The quaint town of Braunau, with its 16,000 inhabitants, is located on the Austrian side of the border. But it's a place with a historical burden that the town's patron saint can do little to avert. Braunau is Adolf Hitler's birthplace, and it's inherited a real estate problem. The address of Hitler's birthplace is Salzburger Vorstadt 15, an expensive property in the center of town. It's been empty since last year. Braunau's mayor suggested converting the house into rental apartments. The idea was turned down by the local council, but a solution still hasn't been found. The house's owner possibly shares a certain responsibility for that. She originally rented out the property to local government, but now she appears hard to reach.
At the moment, I can't speak to the owner personally.
My attempt to get in touch with the proprietor also failed. I would like to have asked her a few questions, such as why the cast iron letters MB still adorn the house. They're the initials of Hitler's private secretary, Martin Bormann. He bought the property for the Nazi Party in 1938 and had it decorated accordingly. Even today, there's no plaque outside the house relating the history of Nazi crimes. The fate of the house has triggered a public controversy in Braunau. Historians and local residents taking part in this meeting think politicians should have dealt with the issue a lot sooner.
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do anything to the building, either inside or out. That's the main problem that we've been facing in Braunau.
But the owner of the house was unable to block this memorial, which was erected on the pavement in 1989. The granite stone comes from the Mauthausen concentration camp, 80 kilometers away from the town. It's at least one reminder of the past. Werner Forster has long been interested in National Socialism and the history of his town. He thinks it is significant that Hitler paid so little attention to his own birthplace. Hitler lived the first 3 years of his life in Braunau, but he only returned there once, after Germany's annexation of Austria in 1938. That's when he took part in a victory parade there.
If you consider how the Nazi Party and apparently how Hitler himself dealt with the house where he was born, then you get the impression that he wasn't particularly interested by it. He was possibly embarrassed by it to some extent. He probably didn't want to advertise his petit bourgeois background.
Obersalzberg in Bavaria, about 100 kilometers from Braunau, was much better suited to Hitler's megalomania. Up here, he could reign over neighboring Austria and meet senior Nazi leaders. It was here that genocide and many atrocities were planned. Braunau is an innocent place in comparison, if it weren't for this house. A Russian parliamentarian announced he wanted to buy it and then have it demolished. But the building is protected by a historic preservation order. And the local authorities wanted to stop anyone from misusing the building. So they've been paying the owner almost 5,000 euros in rent per month. But you can't just delete history, even if some people in Russia might think so. So what should happen to the building in which Hitler was born? It's been used as a public library and, more recently, as a workshop for people with disabilities.
We have to create an institution which is dedicated to help researching the past. Not necessarily a conventional museum, but a kind of memorial site, a place where we can take responsibility for the past.
People in Braunau are slowly beginning to realize that things cannot stay as they are. and that it's high time to find a solution for this building with its unsettling past.